Hey, Sprawl Racer here. I had some technical issues in my recording. For some reason, my webcam was really laggy, but the driving looked fine. My audio sounded fine. So if I look a little weird there in the bottom corner, I do apologize. I think I know what the issue is, so I think I got it fixed for the next video. But yeah, no, the GT4s feel amazing. Or the McLaren did just over like a 5-lap period. I spun on my outlap, which never would have happened in the old car. It feels much, much more alive. I feel like this is going to be a huge resurgence for the series and car. It is nowhere near as crazy as the M2 as far as like the quirkiness of it, but it feels intuitive. It feels great. I can't wait to drive the Mustang once I get access to it. And hopefully you guys enjoy this. I did a lot of testing in the McLaren the last 2 weeks at Suzuka, working on a setup, trying to learn the car. And I was about 4 seconds a lap slower, 3 seconds a lap slower with this update. Taking 130R, I was probably down about 10 to 15 miles an hour. But it felt so much better in the chicanes, the hairpin, especially through the S's. You can really feel the tires working and the weight of the car rotating. Before, it felt like when you turned the car, it just kind of fought you. And it feels much more alive now, much better. And I'm really looking forward to racing these this season. But I'm going to shut up, get into the video. Like, comment, subscribe, all that is helpful. Like I said, let's get in the car. Sprawl Racer here. We are about to jump into the McLaren GT4. I did a ton of practice with this car the last 2 weeks. I wanted to get a good feel for a GT4 since I know we wouldn't be able to download the Mustang right away. I did a setup. That setup is no good. Ride heights were completely broken, so I went back to the default setup. I've yet to drive. I've just, like I said, reset the setup. I moved some UI elements around. And yeah, let's first things first, let's go to the garage. In fact, let me pull OBS back up, and we're going to pull OBS on that screen. We're in the garage. All of this is kind of the same as before. I wish we could actually scale the garage smaller on the UI. But air pressures, it shows you last hot pressure. It looks like on the GT4, we're half-pound increments. Dry, wet tire. Under chassis, this is all kind of the same. For some reason, it gives me a warning using track versus sport. Not quite sure why. ARB settings. I mean, there's no new drop downs. It's all pretty much the same as before. We have endurance versus sprint. Brake pads. Reading the description, which is over here on the top right of the garage. Two-choice brake pads. Sprint is a high friction, and endurance is a low friction. Higher friction pads require less brake pedal effort. So they've just kind of branded it as sprint and endurance versus high and low friction. Based on the way I read the patch notes, we might be getting brake wear at some point, and this would make a difference. And this is just kind of a step towards that. I could be wrong. One thing too, the spring perch offset looks like I can go in much smaller increments, and as soon as I go too low, it immediately flashes red. And if I go metric, we're talking 1/4 of a millimeter, or we're talking 100th of an inch. So that's nice. I like having that fine detail. I kind of wish we could do 1/10 of a pound of air pressure instead of halves, but I'm just picky like that. Camber, let's see if I apply, I become too low, it fails tech. Back to there. What am I still wanting to apply? Tech's good. I'm going to save this setup. It looks like we could name it here. Oh, that's kind of the same as before. iRacing official setup, so I'm going to say no. Fixed, open. So all that kind of looks the same, shared, so somebody shares their set. And then export, I believe that's to do it to an HTML file, which other programs could read a little easier. Again, I wish we could scale this specific screen down smaller. We have notes here. Can we copy paste notes though? That is one thing you got to type there, and it always annoys me. So I'm just going to highlight, Control X, Control V. You can copy paste in the notes. Huge upgrade for the UI. I love that. That's honestly been the best thing I've noticed so far. But with that boring stuff out of the way, let's get the car on track. So we're here. We're in the car. I've went to the larger virtual mirror. It actually goes less with height, a lot more with width. So it's a really wide virtual mirror. I'm going to have to keep adjusting stuff as I get up to speed. I think most people know I don't like a lot of UI. I like to keep it pretty simple. But yeah, no, that's what that's looking like so far. Like I said, I just kind of moved some stuff off to the side monitors out of my line of sight and readjusted my mirror. I might have to adjust my delta bars there to compensate for the new larger mirror. But all in all, I mean, it's really similar to what it was before. I don't think we're reinventing the wheel here by no means. But let me rev the car up, make sure my audio levels. Okay, cool. For some reason, the car sounds really good. Volume's probably a little loud in my ear. But I think I'm ready to roll for the first time in the new GT4. Pit limiter. So frame rate seems to be a little lacking right now. Sometimes this happens. Frame rate looked good in the recording. Yeah, so a little bit of a bug there. But let's focus on track. It already feels really good with cold tires. I'm still using the same wheel settings I've used, which I use an AccuForce V2. I put a little bit of inertia friction. Into my settings. Obviously, I don't want to overpower what the car is doing, but I like to have a little bit of weight. Whoa, 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 okay. That got free on me. I need to move my race control, I think. I don't know if that's off center, if it just types from the side like that instead of centering the text. But yeah, let's get up to speed again. I already spun out. Which before, I swear, I couldn't spin this car out before to save my life. So, obviously, if the car is easy to drive, I want it to be easy to drive. I want realism. Whether, like I said, if it's too easy, too hard, I want it to be as realistic as possible. And before, I felt like it was just way too easy to drive. Now, if that's how they were, that's how they were. But already off the bat, this car feels much more alive than it did in the previous build. So I think 212 was about my best I could do last week. So we'll have to see what we can do here once we kind of get up to speed. Under braking, I feel like you could feel a lot more. And yeah, so far I am very impressed. If you can hear those Discord bings, I'm sorry. I tend to turn Discord off when I record, but I forgot this time between the UI changes and everything. I'm a little behind on all that, so I gotta... Sorry, just trying to focus here. Feels really good through there. I mean, a little free on exit, but still manageable. I'm still able to get to apex. I need to turn delta bar off. I do not like having the delta bar. Well, it doesn't, I mean, it doesn't feel, how do I say this? As the tires are coming up to temperature, it still feels like the same car as before, but not, how do I say this? It's, it feels a lot better. Like hands down, feels a lot better. It doesn't feel like a completely new car. It just feels like a more alive car. I'm feeling much more in my hands. And I'm not the greatest driver in the world, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. It's it feels a lot better. It feels really good, but it doesn't feel new. Like I said, I did probably 100+ laps last week, 2 weeks working on a setup. Just trying to get comfortable, learn the GT4 a little bit before the build. I probably slowed there way more than I needed to. I feel much more in control with the car, much more connected with the car. Like right through there, that just felt so much more alive. Try to do a good lap or two here and shut up. So already 4 seconds off my old pace. The front feels like it's much more engaged. Like I could feel what the front's doing, especially into these S's. It feels so much better to me. Like I'm driving it rather than it driving me. I feel like the old GT4 just felt so bland and dead, and like the car weighed 1 trillion pounds. And you were floating a boat around, which, I mean, these are boats compared to a GT3, but this feels so much more alive. I mean, I'm sure as people figure out the setups and get the cars better planted, you'll lose some of the character just a little bit, but out the box, this feels great. Even when I drove the first, I think what was the BMW, the first GT4, I got it right when it came out and immediately just did not like it. Like, I thought it was a skill issue, and it probably was a little bit, but I'm just not a big fan. And as I've gotten into sports car racing a lot more on iRacing, especially with the M2 just feels so alive. It almost feels too much. I used to be able to take that at about 125. I was down to 117 there. And I don't feel like I was, I mean, probably giving up some speed, but not much. But yeah, what was I saying? After learning sports car and getting better with the M2, which feels just so alive, this feels a lot better than it did. I'm gonna finish this lap, get this video uploaded. I'm gonna be focused a lot on the Mustang this season, building setups for it. I probably won't do track guides like I did for the M2, unless people really want those, just because I don't know how I'm going to compare pace-wise. A lot of people will be doing track guides. But I'll definitely be building setups. I'll have those in our Discord, so check the Discord in the description. We're going to do that for the whole season of the Falcon multi-class open series. And yeah, definitely going to be spending more time in the GT4s. I feel like it's a great progression step from the M2 now. This feels so much better at the moment. I don't know how it's going to race, but I'm enjoying driving it, which is more than I could have said a week ago. So, dropped about 2 seconds, 3 seconds of lap time with this update on this track and car combo. But like I said, realism's all I'm after. If it's hard to drive, it's hard to drive. If it's easy to drive, it's easy to drive. I want the most realistic experience I can get. And obviously, I've never driven this. I wouldn't know what real feels like. But I do think this car would have been much more alive than it was previously. And we've got that. So let me try to really attack here. I just can't carry the same speeds through there. Try to get a little more aggressive through here. Oh, see, but I mean, it's sliding. It's sliding. So I picked up 7/10 in that sector. And yeah, so yeah, let's jump out here, get this uploaded. Thank you for watching. Hopefully this is helpful for anyone who's curious about the GT4s and the McLaren specifically. Like I said, subscribe to the channel if you're looking for some of the Mustang setups and content. And yeah, let me see. I don't know how I'm going to get a screenshot since my replay software is not working, or replay isn't working. But yeah, that's my problem to figure out. Let's get this sorted. Have a great day.